Howdy folks, hi there and welcome to the Strings of Country interview. You know, today I've got two guests who need no introduction, but I'm going to introduce them anyway. And the first, I have a lady and a guy, and let me talk about the guy first. This guy, despite being visually impaired from the age of 3, he has climbed the ladder of success up to the very top. He's a singer, songwriter, producer. He's had a stint in politics. And the rest, he will tell you what he's been up to lately. I also have a lady, and I like to call her the Kenyan queen of country music. She's been on this show before, and you'll see her again today. And the lady I'm talking about is Esther Conqueror. And the guy, you might have guessed it by now, is the living legend, Reuben Kigame. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Reuben.
Hi.
Or should I say howdy?
Howdy,
Reuben.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Okay, welcome to the Strings of Country interview.
I'm glad to be here. Look forward to being here.
Excellent. Nice to have you. And howdy, Esther Conqueror.
I'm great.
You're great. You're doing good.
I am.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's go straight into it. And I'll start off with Reuben. And we need to know a little bit more about this cowboy, this cowboy like me.
Kenyan cowboy.
Kenyan cowboy.
I put out some T-shirts, celebrating my role as a Kenyan cowboy.
Yes.
And it's just that I grew up in the country, way out there in Western Kenya.
Would that be
Born
Bunyore?
in Bunyore, yes. And Bunyore is a lovely place, congested now, but growing up in the late 60s into the early 70s, it was so serene. The rivers were pretty clean at that time. You could sit by a stream and really feel the country air.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and in most parts of the world anyway, country ain't country anymore. They've cut down the trees and they've brought down all the beauties of the countryside. And now it's all marble and stone and tarmac and all that. But I grew up in Bunyore, and lovely place, serene. I just loved the people, very hospitable. Somebody sang "Everybody knows everybody," so
That's
you
so
sort
true,
of
for country.
you don't have to introduce yourself. You check in and you're at home. Sadly, when I was about 3 years old, I recognized that something had gone wrong. Actually, it was a gradual recognition because I had no idea what was happening. Just one evening, sitting at the dinner table, we're having family time, and I reach out for the plate and I miss it. And my mother exclaimed, "Reuben, what's wrong?" I didn't know either, so I had no answer. But I was to discover, just as much as they, that I had contracted a cataract and was going blind. And so my life sort of changed, but I didn't recognize it until, much later when you began to face the stereotypes and all the, segregation aspects.
Yes.
But growing up in Bunyore, nobody really treated me like a blind man, a blind boy. And growing up, with family, I was just member of the family. We played the little games and did all the things children do. And so when I sing, when I was a boy, just immersed in toys, I never really knew the world could be so harsh for me. And I look at that, and I realize, it's the world that makes you blind. It's not. It's not the condition, really.
And Reuben, how did you get into music?
You can see music in anyone's life if they're going to be musicians from very early. So I picked it from my family. My brother played the guitar, and my mother sings, and my siblings generally sing. But I grew musically when I went to school. Went to Kisumu, to a school for the blind, where there was lots of music from the Salvation Army side, and to Thika High School for the Blind, where I joined a small band there. We used to call ourselves super igniters.
What class were
And,
you in at the time?
Just Form 1, Form 2.
Okay.
Already picked up a
That's
bit.
when you picked your first guitar?
No. Actually, I didn't know how to play the guitar until I became a Christian.
Okay.
But I played the drum set for the group.
Yeah.
I was more of a percussionist. I love percussions to this day.
Okay.
So I teach the drum set even at my school right now.
Right.
But it was a journey. So, you discover that they need your music, and then you join a group and into different choirs and stuff. And later on, I was to join the Kenya Youth for Christ, and I sang and traveled with them for quite a bit.
Okay.
But my musical journey actually grew when I became a Christian, because before I sang other people's songs.
And when was that?
Around 1981.
All right.
Yeah. So I used to sing other people's songs a lot. I wrote a couple, one or two, not very nice songs, because one of them was a song I wrote against God. I hated God with a passion.
Oh, why is that?
Because,
Tell me about
I
that.
thought he had favorites, and I knew I was not one of them.
Was it because of your
Of course.
your
I
condition?
thought,
Visually,
And the song
condition.
just basically said, Lord, you're the author of all the evil in this world.
Yeah.
And I didn't like him. But strange that some kind of supernatural heart transplant took place. I became a Christian, and my songs changed too. I no longer sang, what people made me to sing or what I thought other people sang.
Yes.
I could now sing my songs because I wrote personal songs now. I wrote a lot of adoration type songs.
Yeah.
My storyline, my testimony, and
Yes. That was
That-
before you went to the university?
that
Way
was in
before.
high school. Yes,
High school.
As a teenager, I wrote a lot of songs that just were testimony type and outreach type,
Yeah.
and worship type. And so when I went to the university, then my music grew even more with exposure to other musicians.
I
that-
believe that was Kenyatta University.
Yes, Kenyatta University.
Yes.
Nice place. Nice place to be in our days.
I was there for 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. That's too
That's a
short.
story for another
That's
day.
too short. Yeah, but
Yes.
yeah, Kenyatta University was a great place. Having joined the university, I also got to travel a lot into Europe. My second album was recorded in Germany back in 1988, and
Which album was this?
it was called No Setting Sun.
Okay.
Let your heart not be troubled. Believe in my Father and also believe in me. That written from John 14.
Yes.
And went on to experiment a lot more with different genres. I went
Okay.
into reggae. I went into
Reggae as
Oh
well.
yes, and singing reggae in our day
Yeah.
in church
Was
a
considered,
no-no.
yeah, exactly.
Actually, there's still churches that hold reggae is demonic and evil and Rastafarian and all
Yes.
that. And
Do you feel the same?
no, not at all.
Yeah.
Every
it's more about the message?
every
It's-
melody, every note, every style
Yeah.
is a neutral avenue.
Yeah.
It's what you do with it.
Yes.
You could take country and praise God with it. You
Absolutely.
could take country and
Yes.
curse God with
Yeah.
it. It's
Uh-huh.
just what you do with it. So I experimented a lot, and I settled in the mid-90s
Yeah.
to something that had been a passion of mine, but I didn't exploit it much. I went into writing a lot of worship songs. So I remember when your MD started, venturing into media,
Yeah.
giving me exposure and so on. And it was a great time.
It was.
It was
I
a great
remember
time.
that. Yes.
And I look back to that time with a lot of nostalgia.
Okay.
But back towards the turn of the century, the 2000, 2001, I was going through what one would call a shaking of foundation. I think
What happened there?
Paul Tillich called
Yeah.
it shaking of foundations. Meaninglessness hit me so hard. I'd been through all these different things, and the music and the traveling, and the education, and
Yes.
you go through a stage in your life when you ask the big questions. And so I was hit by a wave of meaninglessness. And
Who am I? Why am I here?
Oh, yes. Who am I? Why am I?
Why
Where
am I
am I
here?
going? Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay.
And so I was just on the path of giving up music altogether.
It's a good thing you did not.
Find a
Yes.
place to retreat to
Yes.
and just disappear. And strangely, that's when the Lord began to bring a lot of songs into my life.
Yeah.
Because I found myself naturally just looking out again for the answers from Him, and He gave me a lot of answers in my life. So if you look at my songs between the year 2000 and 2005, thereabout,
Yes.
songs are about questions and answers.
Okay.
Why kill tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you
and,
something to tell us something. Tell us more
yeah.
about that song, "Why Kill Tonight,"
Yeah,
and maybe a
night
few
is
other
here
songs.
and the
Yes.
day is gone. And,
Yes.
and I'm lost out here.
Yeah.
If you listen to Sweet Bunyore,
Yeah.
it's really
I'll ask you to sing that
Yeah,
song shortly.
that's
but tell me
fine.
something. Something about Sifa voices.
Okay, I was headed there because
yes.
you see now that meaninglessness
Yes.
just birthed a lot of songs. And that's when I ventured into country big
Yes.
time. That's I looked for a band in the States,
Yes.
and found a band in Indiana that was willing to play with me.
Yes.
And the entire album, Never Alone, was recorded in Goshen, Indiana.
Okay.
And at that point in time, I looked out for every possible country concert. I went to Randy Travis's, county fair
Wow.
shows and so on.
Yes.
And it was a rewarding time, and that's when God began to bring down
Okay.
the answers. And in that time, also came a lot of worship songs
Yes.
that I wrote for Sifa Voices. Sifa Voices was born back in 1996
Yes.
as a coming together of different worship ministers from different churches that love music.
Ruben, we are going to, you tell us more about Sifa Voices shortly. We need to go into a short break. But before that, there's something you're doing with, you have a project with Esther Conqueror, I believe.
Yes,
You can
and,
briefly tell us about that. Then I'll request you to sing Sweet Bunyore as we go into a break. And, there's a song that people have been asking about. They've been asking us to play on the Strings of Country. But we don't have it. We don't have the video. You're going to tell us whether you're going to have a video. Coming soon.
But I've known Esther for several years now. She came as a lyricist to my studio, wanting to record poetry.
Yes.
And at that time, I just knew her as a poet. And so she traveled all the way to Eldoret.
Okay.
And my family hosted her, and we had a great time in the studio.
Yes.
I was doing the background music for her poetry at
Okay.
that time.
Yes.
And recently we caught up. We've been in communication, and I love what she's been doing to promote country. And she told me about a song that she wanted to release at my studio. And I told her, I'm in.
Okay.
Can you say about the song? Something about the song?
Yeah, sure. I'm doing 2 songs.
Okay.
Well, I was doing one song for a client, not really my song, but I wrote the song. But it's more of a client song. Somebody wanted me to write a song for the wedding anniversary. And it's a couple, so they wanted a Kikuyu and English song
Yeah, that was interesting.
that was just, out of the world.
Is it a
had to
gospel?
be
Is it gospel or just
a love
secular?
song.
Or just a love
It
song?
has to be a love song.
Okay.
It has to
Yeah,
be
for a
a
wedding
duet.
it has to
A
be.
duet.
And it
Of
has
course,
to
it has
be in
to be.
English
Uh-huh.
and Kikuyu.
All right.
So that was quite a task for me. But sometimes you're put in, you're being
Yes.
challenged. Let us see how,
you pulled it
how
off.
musical you
Yes.
can be. And so it's something I've been working on. And then
Yes.
I just thought, who would produce this song the best way I wanted to come out? Because there are many producers, yes, but who would understand what
It had
I
to
want?
be the best producer in town.
Oh, yeah.
And hence you found yourself with Ruben.
Yeah, so we have been together previously. Actually,
Okay.
when I met Ruben,
Yes.
I actually followed you since I was very little because I've always been a lover of country music, and my dad was his fan.
Yes.
So every time we would listen to country music, and a Kigame song would play, and my dad would tell me that guy is Kenyan. I'm like, no,
No.
he sounds like a
Sounds,
Mzungu. Then he's like,
American
just
or
listen to the
something.
name.
Yeah, okay.
Kigame is actually, and so
Not
I
Randy.
never
Okay.
believed that.
Okay. I think, Esther, you'll tell us a little bit more about that when we come back from the break.
All right.
But I would like to request you to sing Sweet Bunyore
Okay.
as we go into this break.
cows as they give their scanty milk away. I can smell the evening fires as the clouds begin to swell again. How I long to hear your rivers flow, and the morning birds begin their praises as they join the whole creation in their mighty song to the King of Kings. Sweet Bunyore, do you remember me? If I come, will you receive me? Oh, sweet Bunyore, have you a place for me? Or am I just a child of faith?
Wow. Okay, viewer.
you.
What a song there. You're watching the Strings of Country interview, and today I've got two great musicians, and that is Esther Conqueror and Ruben Kigame. We just had him there perform Sweet Bunyore so wonderfully. We're taking a short break, and we'll be back in a short while, so don't go anywhere. There's more where that came from.